You're listening to Coupled With, the podcast that helps you take the guesswork out of feeling seen, heard, and valued in your relationship. If you've ever felt stuck in the same arguments, struggled to stay connected, or wondered how to better communicate with your partner, you're in the right place. I'm Dr. Rachel Orleck, a couples therapist and coach, and together, we're going to make relationships make sense. Let's dive in. Hey, welcome back to Coupled With. I'm Dr. Rachel Orleck, and today we're getting into something you've definitely felt in your relationship. That moment when your heart's pounding, your voice gets tight, and maybe you go silent. You know you're upset, but you either explode, shut down, or freeze. And you think to yourself, why can't I just stay calm? Why does this happen when it matters most? If you've ever asked yourself that, this episode is for you. We're talking about self-regulation, what it is, why it's hard, how it connects to your attachment style, and why it makes or breaks your ability to have a connected relationship. And no, this isn't about being perfectly chill or emotionally detached. This is about being present, being human, and learning how to stay with yourself so you can stay with your partner. Let's get into it. Let's talk about why self-regulation is just so damn hard. Let's be real. You didn't get handed a how to regulate your nervous system manual in school. And even if you had, it probably wouldn't have helped during that heated fight with your partner, right? Here's the thing. We learn how to regulate by being regulated. When you were a kid, if someone could sit with your emotions, really be with you, without needing to shut you up or shut you down, then your nervous system learns something powerful. I can feel big things and still be safe. But if you grew up in chaos or in a home where emotions were too much, or no one really noticed how you felt, then your nervous system adapted. You might have learned to go quiet to keep the peace, to explode because it was the only way to get attention, to fix other people's moods so they wouldn't leave. And now, fast forward to adulthood, into your romantic relationship. Your nervous system is still running that same old script. When your partner criticizes you, you might feel like a kid again being scolded by a parent. When they walk away mid-argument, you feel abandoned. When they shut you down, you feel invisible. And your body reacts before your brain can process what's happening. That's not weakness. That's wiring. And it shows up in your cycle. This makes me think of one of my clients. As he would try to share his vulnerabilities, his hurts, his needs, he already went into that conversation feeling dysregulated. He was hurt, so there was an edge to his voice. And in that edge, his partner felt attacked, felt scared, and her body shut down, and she started to disappear. And as she would pull back and disappear, he would receive the message that his hurt wasn't important to her. And that would just make him get more explosive and more angry. The problem wasn't that they didn't care about each other. The problem was that they can't regulate in the moment to calmly and gently share their hurts or their fears with one another so that they can reset or really be heard on a deep level by their partner. Let's talk about this dynamic that a lot of couples fall into. Codependence. Actually, this is the word that a lot of people hear when I say co-regulation. Codependence is not co-regulation. Codependence is actually part of the cycle. It's a way that we try to control the situation, we try to stay safe, we try to manage somebody else's reactions, so that we can, because we believe that we can get through that cycle if we control those dynamics. It usually looks like caring, but it's actually not. Codependence is, I can't feel okay unless you're okay. I'll keep my needs small so you don't pull away. I'll fix this, smooth this over, sacrifice myself because your upset is too much for me. What it feels like is anxiety, resentment, and burnout. And it creates a never ending loop of one person trying to manage the other, someone pulling away, more panic, more shutdown, and bigger reactions. It keeps you stuck in the cycle because nobody feels emotionally safe enough to show up as themselves. Now let's flip the script. Co-regulation is the antidote to codependence. It's not about fixing each other. It's about being able to sit in the discomfort together without trying to make it go away too fast. It sounds like, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm feeling overwhelmed too, but we'll figure this out. Or, you know what? I need a break to calm down so I don't say something I'll regret. I still care. I just need a moment. Co-regulation lets both people stay grounded. You still get to be two separate people with your own emotional experience, but you're not doing it alone. That's the difference. This is how we start to fall into that trap of, I have to sacrifice what I want, what I need in order for the relationship to be okay. My partner doesn't care about my hurts, my wants, my needs. My feelings don't matter. I'm not allowed to have my feelings. When we get stuck in that pattern, we start to lose each other. And we get caught in this cycle of feeling more and more distant, more and more shut down, and more dysregulated as the cycle escalates. So remembering that this is all part of a bigger cycle. The more that I feel like I need to sacrifice, the more I feel like I need to downshift everything that's important to me, the more I don't feel like I'm important to you. The more I get angry about that and I get big and loud, the more you shut down and pull away. The more you pull away, the less important I feel, the louder I get. The louder I get, the more you believe that I don't care about you, that your hurts don't matter to me. And then I shut down and pull away even more. When you're both dysregulated, communication is chaos. You're not hearing each other, you're hearing threat. You're hearing your own fear. You're responding to your story about what's happening, not the actual moment. But when you can regulate, when one or both of you can ground, pause, breathe, that's when the magic happens. You repair faster. You don't spiral into a 3-hour argument. You don't walk away with that, oh, I hate this dynamic pit in your stomach. Instead, you start feeling like you're on the same team again. And that builds trust. It builds emotional safety, which leads to more real conversations, more sex, more affection, more shared decisions, and more fun. The foundation of all of that, self-regulation and co-regulation. So let's get practical. Here are 3 things that you can try when you feel dysregulated. First, name it to tame it. Literally say what's happening in your body. My chest is tight. I feel like running. I'm holding my breath. This grounds you and helps you witness your experience instead of being consumed by it. The second, is pause before the pattern. When you feel yourself about to react, pause. Even 10 seconds can interrupt your autopilot response. Say, I need a minute, and step away. It's not to punish. It's not to withdraw. It's to reset. So if you're able to tell your partner, hey, I'm just feeling really dysregulated right now. I need to step away for a second so that I can come back and really be present. That helps even more. If the best you can manage in that moment is just to pause and say, I need a minute, I'm going to be right back. Take 10 seconds, splash some cold water on your face, then come back. At least you haven't said something that you would regret. It gives you a minute to come back to your body and share with your partner in a more vulnerable way. The third thing you can do is try to anchor in the present. So touch something around you. Feel the floor underneath your feet. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. What this does is signal to your body and your nervous system that you're not in danger. Tell yourself, we're not in danger here. We're actually just in a conversation. We're in a conversation with somebody that I love, and you can validate yourself. Yes, I'm feeling vulnerable, but I'm not in danger. Okay, so let's be honest. Sometimes in these cycles, we lose it. You shut down, you walk away, you get really loud. It happens. So here's what to do and how to come back. 1, come back to your partner and own your part of this cycle. After you've calmed down and you circle back, say, I got overwhelmed. I went into that shutdown mode. I really want to try again. Or own, I snapped and that wasn't fair to you. Let me slow it down and try again. It's not about being perfect. It's about taking these steps that are necessary into repairing what happened. The second thing you can do is reflect on what triggered you. So ask yourself, what was I feeling under the surface? What did I make their words mean about me? What did I say to myself as we were having that conversation or as we were about to step into that conversation that really got me going? What brought up that tone in my voice? What made my body start to feel like it was shutting down? What meaning was I making about that situation? This helps you separate the present moment from the past pain that might have been fueling your reaction. And it's really important to be practicing some of these skills on your own when you're not in this fight or flight situation, when the emotions aren't running high. To be able to practice this self-regulation strategy by yourself over time means that you'll have so much more access to it in the moment. So here's the secret sauce. Don't wait until the conflict happens to start practicing regulating. Here's the one thing that you can do on your own to build that muscle. Daily nervous system check-ins. I know that might sound a little simplistic, but just at some point during your day, pause and ask yourself, what's happening in my body right now? Am I tense? Am I relaxed? Am I anxious? Then do one thing that helps you settle. Maybe that's putting your feet on the floor and taking 3 deep breaths. Maybe that's journaling, a thought that's been bothering you, moving your body, even just for 30 seconds, wiggling or jumping jacks or walking around the block, holding a warm drink, noticing the sensation of the cup in your hand. Or it might even be grabbing an ice pack, putting that on the back of your neck, or running your wrists under cold water. Every time you practice this, outside of the conflict, you're laying the groundwork for staying present during conflict. You're rewiring your system to recognize, I can feel discomfort and still be safe. One thing that we've just never done well as a culture is normalize the experience of discomfort. Because whenever we feel discomfort, we believe that we're in danger. All the alarm bells go off, all of the danger signals happen, and we get into our mode of staying safe. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And we do that to stay connected, to stay safe, and to avoid the feeling of discomfort. So sometimes what we need to do is actually just sit with that discomfort and learn how to tolerate it. It's a part of the normal human experience to feel uncomfortable. And the more that we can be comfortable with discomfort, the more you'll be able to regulate in the moment and be able to be present with your partner, show them that they care, but also be assertive about your own needs and wants. So, listen, this work isn't easy, but it's possible and it's worth it. You don't have to be perfectly calm all the time. You just need to be aware, to notice what's happening in you and show up with intention, not just reaction. Because when you can do that, you're not just breaking the cycle, you're creating a new one. One where connection feels safe, where vulnerability is met with care, one where you and your partner can actually grow together instead of just surviving the same fight on repeat. So give yourself some grace. Practice one thing today and know this is how it starts. If this episode hit home, share it with your partner, talk about it, reflect on what cycle you get stuck in and what it would feel like to stay in it together, not against each other. Thanks for listening to Coupled With. I'll see you next time. If you've been nodding along during this episode thinking, this is exactly what happens in my relationship, but I don't know how to stop it, I made something for you. It's a free 7-day email course called Break the Cycle. Each day, I'll walk you through simple steps to stop the same fight from repeating and start rebuilding real connection without shutting down, walking on eggshells, or trying to do it all perfectly. You can sign up at my website. I'll link it in the show notes. It's totally free. This isn't just about communication. It's about breaking patterns that are breaking you. That's it for today's episode of Coupled With. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to hit subscribe so you never miss what's next. And if you found it helpful, please share it with a friend or leave a quick rating and review. It really helps more than you know. And if you're curious about how we might work together or want more resources to strengthen your relationship, head over to my website, www.drrachelorleck.com. You'll find free tools, podcast extras, and ways to go deeper. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next time.